Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today our mission is to get into some source material about righteousness by faith. We're focusing mainly on Romans chapter 10, verses 1 to 13.
Yeah.
And we're wrestling with this kind of tricky question. If salvation is meant to be simple, how do we actually, trust its value?
Yeah, that's a common hurdle.
The sources jump right into that tension. They talk about people having this real zeal for God, but it's not according to knowledge.
Right.
They're trying to establish their own righteousness, essentially. It seems like they're missing the alternative God provides.
That phrase, their own righteousness, it's so important. The sources point out this is about trying to earn God's favor through effort, through following the law meticulously.
Good checklist.
Pretty much. But then you hit verse 4 and it just lays it out there.
The big pivot, yeah. For Christ is the end of the law, for righteousness to everyone who believes.
Yeah.
That just changes everything.
It absolutely does. It shifts the whole basis from what we do, from adherence to what Christ did. It moves from human effort to, divine achievement and our faith in that.
So the law's role changes. It's not the path to righteousness anymore.
Exactly, which naturally leads you, the listener, to ask, okay, if it's not about effort, what is the way now? What's the mechanism?
And the sources are actually pretty direct about that, aren't they? Verses 9 and 10 really spell it out. Mm-hmm. It says, if you confess with your mouth that Jesus is Lord and believe in your heart that God raised him from the dead, you will be saved. Two things. Two
core actions, yes. And verse 10 clarifies that connection, which is helpful for, really understanding it.
Right.
With the heart one believes and is justified, and with the mouth one confesses and is saved. So belief leads to justification. That's your standing before God, being declared righteous.
Okay.
And confession leads to salvation, the sort of the ultimate outcome, the experience of it.
But hang on, if you're confessing and believing, isn't that still doing something? How is that different from trying to establish your own righteousness? That seems like a fine line.
That is a really sharp question. The difference, according to the text we're looking at, is about reliance. It's about the object of your action.
Okay, reliance.
Yes. When you confess Jesus is Lord and believe God raised him, you're relying completely on Christ's work, on what he accomplished. It's like accepting a finished transaction.
Okay.
But establishing your own righteousness, that's relying on your actions, your merit, your ability to meet the standard. One is receiving a gift, the other is trying to earn a wage. That's the core distinction.
Receiving versus earning. Got it.
And this distinction leads straight into what the reflection sources highlight as a major point of friction. This very idea of ease.
Yeah, that makes sense. Our culture, it doesn't really trust easy, does it?
Not at all. We value hard work, right? Things that are difficult to get, things that are rare. We call them premium, luxury.
We assume the harder it is, the more valuable it must be. Status comes from rohinchi,
Exactly. And the gospel message just completely turns that on its head. Salvation is presented as simple, not because it lacks value, but because the ultimate price was already paid by God through Christ.
So the costliness is there, just not on our side.
Precisely. It's pure grace. And the radical implication there is that if it's grace, you can't boast about earning it. There's no status to be gained through your own merit.
That is a total reversal. And if it's a free gift based purely on grace, the access must be huge, right?
Immense. That's where the sources stress this radical inclusivity. It breaks down all the old walls.
Like verse 11 saying no distinction between Jew and Greek.
Absolutely. And verse 13 drives it home. For everyone who calls on the name of the Lord will be saved. Everyone. Rich, poor, young, old, regardless of background, the offer is universal.
So, okay. Civil mechanism, free gift, universal access. Why then, as the sources note, do so many people seem to, refuse to believe?
Yeah.
It seems counterintuitive.
It does seem baffling, doesn't it? But it seems to circle back to that desire for ownership or maybe control. To accept a gift purely as a gift, something totally unearned,
Requires humility, surrender.
Exactly. It requires letting go of the idea that you need to be worthy first or that you need to contribute something to the process. That surrender can actually be harder for some than performing religious duties. Even the faith to believe is presented as part of God's grace, not something we generate ourselves.
Right, not another work. Okay, so let's try and summarize what this deep dive has shown you, the listener. Getting right with God, this righteousness, it's not achieved by trying to build up your own record, your own merit system.
No.
It comes through simple faith, believing in your heart and confession, saying with your mouth what God has done through Christ. It's freely offered.
And that leaves us with a really provocative thought to carry forward based on those reflections. If salvation truly is pure grace, entirely unearned, how should living fully aware of that amazing gift change things?
Change how you see God.
Yes, and how you see yourself, your accomplishments, maybe even how you act day to day. If your ultimate standing isn't based on what you earn, what does that free you up for? That's something to really chew on.